Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Happy Friday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here live for your Friday 2 p.m. First Alert Weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. As always, if you have any questions, head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News there. I do try to answer the questions as we get through the live. I do apologize if I miss your question. I don't always get the chance to look over to that chat. For today's stream, we're going to be looking towards your weekend, but we still have to get through Friday and some rain chances before that. We start off looking at our downtown Saginaw camera where you are seeing cloud cover start to build itself. That was sort of the trend. Weather models were showing that we would get a little bit cloudier into the afternoon, and we're starting to see that, especially on our camera, like here in downtown Saginaw. Now, I did want to look elsewhere across the state. This is up to the north in Traverse City, where it actually looks like you might be getting some rain. This is an area that could continue to see lake effect rain develop over the next really few hours. So if you have plans to travel north, don't be surprised as you head north, you are going to come across some spotty showers. It's not going to be a too widespread thing, but it's enough that you're definitely going to notice it, need those windshield wipers going if you do come across that rain chance. Then we look down to the south. This is into Macomb County there, just north of Detroit. It's showing a little bit more sunshine, but that cloud cover is definitely starting to catch up there to our south. I'd bet you any of those cameras down in Metro Detroit area showing a very similar sky where it is cloud cover starting to build as we get through this afternoon. Now, when we look back on our sky tracker, what we see here is we do continue to have increasing rain chances, especially to our northwest. So Roscommon County especially, but Ogama, north of Clare into Gladwin. Those are areas that you are going to be seeing some light rain here over the next couple of hours. Again, I don't think it's going to be all-day rain, but it's enough that it's going to be just an annoyance as you're getting out and about for your Friday afternoon. I think the question for this rain is how far south is it going to move? I do pull away that cloud cover just to get a better view of the showers, and so far has struggled to reach the bay, but I do think even at this point it is a little bit sort of overperforming in terms of that lake effect rain. So I am not going to count out seeing some quick showers in Midland, Bay City, Saginaw. I think that will go through about 6 p.m. Then after that, it looks like cloud cover, some higher pressure, and that will end up giving us clear skies and drier skies into tonight, then through our weekend. But for now, just seeing this rain chance, especially into our northern counties, but even now towards our 127 counties. Mount Pleasant looks like you have an area that may be trying to move in. It may miss you south, but we just had this large area of spotty showers that has developed similar to what we had yesterday. I don't think as widespread as yesterday. Yesterday was just a little bit more coverage across mid-Michigan than what we're seeing right now. In terms of temperatures, we're mostly in the mid to upper 40s. There are a few 50s splashed in there. Flint at 50, you have Owasso at 52, Midland and Mount Pleasant both at 50, and then moving to the east, Caseville, Harbor Beach, Port Sanilac, all at 50. Lots of those mid to upper 40s, though, definitely sort of taking over our temperatures here across mid-Michigan. Holton Lake at 46, one of the cooler areas, but even Bad Axe, not that much warmer, at 47. Lapeer at 48, just a few of those temperatures here across the region. In terms of winds, it's mostly out of the northwest at 5 to, let's go 15 miles per hour. Those winds will remain relatively calm through the remainder of the day into tonight. You'll notice something though, as we get through tonight into tomorrow morning, is winds will really start to calm down. It's almost like we flip a switch tonight with those winds. Most of our winds will be at most 5 miles per hour. Another thing you're going to notice into this weekend is a direction shift for our winds. It looks like our winds will mostly be out of the east-southeast as we head through Saturday and even Sunday as winds start to increase. So definitely a nicer weekend in terms of winds. Obviously, it's sort of breezy right now in some locations. Now, as we move into tonight, our lows, they are going to be back into those lower 30s. There's even a few upper 20s being spotted now. It wouldn't surprise me. Standish, West Branch, Holton Lake, those areas northwest of the bay, if you have the possibility of dropping into the 20s for tonight, Just a cold one there. As you move down to the south, you do start to warm up just a little bit by a few degrees. Lots of 31, 32, or 33. Saginaw Bay City could be very close to 34, 35 degrees. Again, skies should start to clear at some point tonight, so that's going to help drop our temperatures, and we just have that cool fall air that's finally moving in. And if you were looking out to the west over the last couple of days, you probably noticed states like Wisconsin, Minnesota, into the Dakotas with frost and freeze advisory. So that's just that cold air that they had over the last couple of days moving into our sort of part of the country. Now again, we won't have any frost or freeze headlines. We canceled the growing season. The National Weather Service signaled the end of the growing season about 2 weeks ago at this point. So we actually got our first freeze earlier than states like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the Dakotas, which obviously usually doesn't happen. Usually those first freezes, especially North and South Dakota, happen a little bit earlier than what we see in Michigan, but not so much this year. As we head into your weekend highs, they are back into those mid to lower 50s. Another fall-like day as you're getting out and about for Saturday. I know Saturday is a busy day, especially for football fans across the state. Eastern's in town. They're playing at noon. Then you get to 3:30. That's when Central Michigan homecoming is at. And then later in the night, you have Michigan State. So lots of games going on across the state. Western, they're out of town. A lot more details on those forecasts here in a little bit, but did want to highlight a pretty fall-like day, some good football weather for anyone that's going to be out, and good weather for any fall-like activities. I know those have started to wrap up as we get closer and closer, but maybe you have Halloween events going on this weekend. I know there's some trick-or-treating stuff going on, so make sure you get out there and enjoy a pretty dry and nice weekend, even if it is a little cooler than what some may like. And again, looking at winds, forecasted gusts continue to stay breezy through about 5 to 6 p.m. It will be a northwest wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Past that, though, we start to flip that switch and we actually stay calm as we start Saturday. This is 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Winds mostly out of the north, if anything, at 5 miles per hour, maybe getting up to 10 if you live closer to the shorelines, and then staying calm for a majority, if not all of our Saturday. It's into Sunday. We start to see those winds pick up just a little bit here at about, let's say 4 p.m. Wind gusts back to 10 to, let's say 20 miles per hour. I think the biggest difference you see in terms of winds is going to be that directional shift. We're not seeing a northwest wind anymore. We're seeing that east wind as we get through Sunday afternoon, and that looks to be the case for a Monday into Tuesday, maybe an east wind starting to spread out across mid-Michigan. Now our hour by hour as we head into the weekend, again, continues to show those spotty showers here through mid-Michigan. It's going to be about, I think 6 p.m. It could be earlier than that, maybe 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. as we really start to lose that chance of rain, just not really there to have that development. I'm not going to count out an isolated shower sticking around, but our chances now are quite a bit higher than what we're going to see through 5 to 6 p.m. And then beyond that, we get to, through the rest of the night, we'll still have some cloud cover, especially into our eastern counties, and then having drier conditions. As we get into Saturday, it's more of the same. This is midday, noon. You will have some sun in the morning, but similar to what we had today, by midday, cloud cover is going to start to rebuild itself. It will cover much of the state. The sun will still try to peek through. It's not going to be totally overcast, but definitely a good mix of sun and clouds through Saturday afternoon. That rain should stay away. You may get more sunshine towards 5 to 6 p.m. Then as we head through Saturday night, drier, clear skies, maybe an isolated rain chance to our eastern counties, and that will be mostly lake effect rain if it does develop towards Sanilac County, towards Bad Axe there. If anything does form late Saturday into Sunday morning, I think it's going to be a pretty small chance and pretty quick as it does develop. Now, as we get through Sunday afternoon, we continue to hold on to some cloud cover, especially that lake effect cloud cover, and then some lake effect rain, definitely a possibility. But similar to what we have earlier in the morning for midday, I think that rain chance, very small, very quick if it does develop. Nothing that's going to go ruin your day if you are going to be someone that gets out and about for Sunday. Now, looking at our 7-day forecast, I just wanted to highlight not much change here from the previous few days. We're looking at 40s for today, 50s are back for Saturday and Sunday, and those 50s will continue to hang around through a majority of next week. We'll see how things change. I do think that Wednesday into Thursday, that could turn into 40s. We do have a low pressure system that's moving through the region. It looks to be to our south. That may be enough, though, to want to help pull in just a little bit cooler air. That will move us right back into the 40s. But for now, we're keeping it in the 50s. That will be sort of a fall-like week ahead of us. Don't see any more rain chances other than that isolated chance Wednesday. And again, that's with the low pressure system that looks to miss us just south of mid-Michigan. But with that, I am going to take a break. I don't see any questions over in our chat. Once I come back from this break, we are going to be taking a look at some of the high school forecasts for Friday Night Lights here for the rest of our evening, and then some of the forecasts that we have going on for Saturday's football games with Central Michigan and Michigan versus Michigan State. So don't want to miss that. Stay right here. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here, back for our second half of our 2 p.m. First Alert Weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. As always, we have these streams at 2 p.m., Monday through Friday. I know we have some more streams in the sort of plans for the next couple of weeks. So we're always going to have that weather up to date for you, especially with the TV5 First Alert Weather team. But it's the final week of the regular season for Friday Night Lights, and that means some important football games across the region. So let's take a look at our game of the week. Kickoff at 7 p.m. between Midland and Dow. Both teams looking to get that win versus a rival. Looks to be a decently nice afternoon/evening. Obviously on the cooler side of things, we look at mostly cloudy skies with temperatures in the mid-40s dropping into the lower 40s. I think the nice thing for this week, yes, it is cooler. Don't look to really have many rain chances, if any. Again, there could be an isolated cell here or there. I think that will be very light if it does develop. And then not very windy. We've had to deal with some windy Friday evenings/afternoons here through much of the season. Now just a northwest wind at 5 to 10. So that's always a good thing for anyone that's going to be out there in Midland for our Friday Night Lights game of the week. Another game going on here in Bay City. It's Bay City Central versus Bay City Western. Very similar forecast, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the mid-40s to start the game, dropping into the lower 40s by the end of the game, and a northwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Game number 3 I wanted to highlight, Beale City versus Ithaca. Two teams looking to continue winning ways, with Beale City at 8-0 and Ithaca at 6-2. Very similar forecast. Again, mostly cloudy, temperatures lower 40s. And I will highlight, there may be some games tonight. We start off mostly cloudy. You may catch clear skies by the end of the game. It's going to matter how much that cloud cover can really start to go away as we get through some of these games. It's a northwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So, again, looking to be a good night of football there. And then the final game for Friday Night Lights I wanted to highlight, that was Gladwin versus Goodrich, an undefeated team there at 8-0, and Goodrich facing Gladwin, who is 5-3. Very similar forecast, mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 40s, that northwest wind 5 to 10. I also wanted to give just a quick look. Make sure you check the times of your kickoffs for this week's games. Some games do kick off a little bit earlier with this being the final week of the regular season. So make sure you're Friday Night Lights game isn't a kickoff at 6. I've talked to a few of my friends that live here. They've missed starts of games because they think it's a 7 p.m. kickoff. It's actually a 6. So just check your local kickoff time for any of the Friday Night Lights games going on. Those end up changing into this final week of the regular season. And I know there's a lot of important games going on across the mid-Michigan area with teams hoping to get their playoff berth in here during this last week with some more wins as we get through the season. Now let's move into the weekend. This is for some of your local colleges forecast, and we're going to start off with the Central Michigan Chippewas. It is homecoming there. UMass traveling into town at kickoff at 3:30. Looks to be a pretty nice day for anyone going back to Mount Pleasant. Temperatures lower 50s at kickoff, partly cloudy skies, and just that southeast wind 5 to 15. And even that's probably a little high. I'd say probably 5 to 10 is what we're going to be seeing. So pretty calm winds, temperatures pretty much fall-like football weather, and a nice day for anyone that, again, is heading back to Mount Pleasant. Another game, an important one for a lot of people that is going on this weekend. Michigan versus Michigan State there in East Lansing, Spartan Stadium. Kickoff at 7:30 p.m. Got that late start. If you have any tailgating plans, temperatures will be a little cooler there at 4:30 throughout the day. Upper 40s, maybe getting into the lower 50s so we can get some sunshine. And then by kickoff, it's those mid to lower 40s, dropping into the lower 40s as we're heading home past the end of Michigan State versus Michigan. And again, we're putting a southeast wind 5 to 15. I think it will be calmer than that as we get through the afternoon/evening for that game. Like I said earlier, Eastern Michigan, they're also in town. They're a home game down there in Ypsilanti. So if you want to go to that, maybe almost catch all 3 football games. You can go down to Eastern, leave that, go to Central, and then go catch Michigan State. Western, they're actually away. They're playing Miami, Ohio, there in Ohio this weekend. So not going to have that home game. But obviously lots of action for football, lots of other things going on. Again, we have fall-like weather. There's still some fall-like activities that you can go take part in. I know there's some trick-or-treating, sort of getting closer to Halloween here, some events for that you can take part in. So enjoy the weekend. I think we're getting to that time of year where we're only one weekend closer to seeing snow on the ground. So we're almost there, but enjoy it. We have that sunshine this weekend at times, temperatures in the 50s. Now, I did want to highlight our 7-day forecast once again, just before we end the stream. For anyone that's maybe joining late here and just missed out on our forecast, again, it's 40s and 50s for the next 7 days. Wouldn't be surprised if Wednesday into Thursday, that maybe ticks a little bit farther down into the 40s. It's going to be very close, I think, especially with the low pressure system moving in. It may end up being determined where that low pressure system sets up for Wednesday into Thursday. I think our next rain chance after today, that looks to be Wednesday as well, with an isolated rain chance. But I don't see anyone over in chat. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. As always, you can check us out on YouTube and Facebook at WNEM TV5 News. You can also head over to our website at WNEM.com. You can go to our live stream tab. There we'll have more live stream and lots of our content there. You can also go to our weather tab. That's where the First Alert TV5 First Alert weather team also keeps you up to date with your local mid-Michigan weather. And with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday afternoon and a wonderful weekend. Hopefully you can enjoy.
Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.